You know what time it is. You are now tuning in to the Recap with the GoodFellaz Show, the world's most dangerous show. We used to be a podcast, but nah, man, we just a show now. We beyond that podcast shit. We are the world's most dangerous show. Act like you know. It's your boy Tommy Gunz, alongside my man Big A. What up?
What's going on, everybody out there? You got to make sure you're having a good time and have a little bud light in your life.
My man Shah Montana, a.k.a. the priest, the prophet, the goon. What's good?
What's poppin' is the jerk with the perks. Holla.
Okay. Heritage hip-hop's own Karev, the voice of the street, some would say. Always represent for the culture. What up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the like so we hit that algorithm. Drop a comment to let us know that you're alive and building with us, because guess what? You're now in tune with the GoodFellaz. Salute.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Also here, a part of the GoodFellaz family here. He's a sniper with the camera, and he's one of the GoodFellaz here. My man, none other than Mr. Dav, the photographer.
Yo, what's good, everybody out there in social media land? Hey, listen, speaking of being nice with the photographer, hey, stay tuned for the GoodFellaz recap photo shoot pics, man. Hey, GoodFellaz came through to the studio. We got some fire images for y'all for some promo coming up soon. But as always, everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay fly. Yeah.
And of course, special shout out, Beyond Mayhem Media's own Sayjin behind the boards doing what he does. So yeah, we back in the building. Few days before Super Bowl Sunday, so you know we got to give some predictions. It's football time. You know we got to talk that talk. Shout out to all my football fans out there. Shout out to all 17 Rams fans out there. We see y'all trying to flex now that your team in the Super Bowl. We see y'all. No, I'm just messing around. But yo, Super Bowl is upon us. The LA Rams, the Cincinnati Bengals, the ultimate dark horse. It's definitely not the Super Bowl that many predicted would be happening earlier in the season. It sure as hell ain't the one we predicted. But you know what? It's all good. Because the thing about football is any given Sunday or any given Saturday or Monday or Thursday or whatever, any given game, one team can beat another team. It don't matter how many superstars they got. It don't matter what the stats is like. None of that matter. So with that being said, it is time for the GoodFellaz Super Bowl Predictions. So, Big A, let's throw the question your way. Who do you think is going to win this year's Super Bowl? What is your prediction?
Well, as my old high school football coach would say, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And with that being said, I've seen it over and over again. Just as the days of the Seahawks coming to the Super Bowl and embarrassing Peyton Manning and his crew, I think we might see something of that, like the Legion of Boom when they first made it to the Super Bowl, and they came and destroyed their opponents from special teams to offense, especially on their defense. They did everything that you want to have as a complete team as a whole, and I think we may see that with the Rams. But Smoking Joe Burrow has got Smoking Joe Burrow. That's what the man's got more nicknames than I've ever seen a young quarterback going to the Super Bowl ever get. Smoking Joe Burrow is behind the helm for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals. And they ain't been to the Super Bowl since 1988. That's a long ass time. And many of y'all that's watching probably wasn't even born at that time. So that's a long goddamn time. So with the optimism of me really wanting the Bengals to win, realistically, I think there's a man by the name of Aaron Donald, who's one of the best defensive players in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, this man has dominated offense after offense. He hasn't been in the league that long, but man, in the last 10 years, there hasn't been a more dominant interior pass rusher like Aaron Donald since Reggie White. The same way they look at Reggie White is the same way they look at Aaron Donald. They don't look at him to block him with one person. They are guaranteed to throw two people at that man, and even two people don't even stop him. So with him, and then you have Von Miller, then you have the linebackers, and they have the safeties over the top. I mean, they're a stacked defense, literally a stacked defense. Have rushers, pass covers. I mean, everything you want in the defense versus the versatility of the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. The real heroes of this Super Bowl will be the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. If they can do what they did in previous games, maintain a balance with the pass rush and allow Joe Burrow to do what Joe Burrow can do, then we might see a highly upset with the Bengals winning. Otherwise, it's going to be a Rams championship game. Even with a dominant defense as the Rams have, they have a dominant defense. You can't knock their offense. You know what I mean? You got Matthew Stafford. The man threw a touchdown with one arm, with a broken shoulder, and one arm when he was with the Lions. He's proven that he's tough. You have his receivers. Then you got receivers on the Bengals. You got all that. With all that being said, I'm thinking it could possibly still be a tight game. I don't think, even with the defense being dominant, that is going to get too out of hand. So if the game goes even within 3 or 7 points, like my man would say, it's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Shout out to JR, for wrestling, but it's going to be a slobber knocker. And I really think it's going to be within a touchdown or a field goal is how the game is going to be won. And even if it go into overtime, like I can even call this Super Bowl might even go to overtime. And I only say that because this is both sides are high powered from the defense to offense. The only upper hand is the Rams have Aaron Donald. That's the only thing I could say. I mean, otherwise, with all the talent on both sides of the ball, it could go either way. I mean, the Cincinnati beat teams that they weren't on paper, they weren't supposed to beat, man.
No, they beat the Chiefs. They beat Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly. At Arrowhead Stadium. They weren't supposed to beat
probably the best quarterback of this new generation. Absolutely. And they stifled their offense in that fourth quarter.
Absolutely. So, you can't forget about what they did, their resume. Joe Burrow, his resume in college, first year, he did pretty good as a quarterback, rookie quarterback. Second year, took his team to the national championship and won. So, he's got a resume of doing this. And in his second year in the NFL, look what he's doing. He took his team to the Super Bowl. So, it's drawn up as a freaking movie. Matthew Stafford, a year to the day that they played the NFC Championship game, he got traded. So, it's just, you can't draw it up any better than this. What I can call is saying within 3 or 7 points, where there's a 17-20 game or it's a 20-23 game.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those type of numbers. I don't think the score is going to get out of hand.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close.
Okay. Shout out to my man Big A. It's your boy Tommy Gunz. I'm going to give my analysis real quick, or my predictions real quick. I'm going to try not to be biased. I also always root for the underdog if it's not my team. That's just kind of what I do. But I got to say, I think the Bengals are going to shock the world and actually pull an upset. Now, mind you, I'm not a Bengals fan. Didn't really follow them during the season, I'm going to admit. But from the playoffs, what I did see with Joe Burrow and just their team, although I feel like they have a lot of stars and a lot of players that are kind of under the radar, because in the AFC, it's not the Bills, then it's the Chiefs. I feel like there's a lot of other, bigger name teams and bigger name players who get a lot more to shine. But I was very impressed with just Joe Burrow's composure and how their defense, I feel like the Bengals defense does not get enough credit. They shut down probably one of the most potent offenses in football, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who have so many ways to score and to beat you. Like literally, it was almost to the point where people were like, oh, there's only a minute left. Don't worry, he got that. They shut down Mahomes. Mahomes was frustrated. Watching that end of that game, he was shocked. He was like, wait, hold up. I'm Patrick Mahomes. I'm supposed to, I was very just watching them, and then, just the whole playoffs, I was very surprised. I think Joe Burrow is very composed for a second-year quarterback. and the thing is, like on the low, like if he's got to run, he can pass on the run. Like he can do a lot of things. And me personally, I'm not sold on the Rams. I know they're supposed to be the super team, and being a 49ers fan, of course, we got a little rivalry. I wasn't really, convinced during the regular season. Yes, they did beat us in the playoffs, but even then, I feel like if they're going against a low-scoring team, they got an advantage. But Joe Burrow can score. So I don't know. I think that the Bengals will pull. It'll be a tight game, of course. It might be a field goal between them because, Stafford is a good quarterback. They have a lot of threats. Cooper Kupp is amazing. Stafford's going to throw to him. And he still finds a way to just burn the defense and still make these catches. It's like unreal. I don't know. He had an amazing year. So, always a threat. OBJ, kind of seemed like he's back to form now. Also a good threat. Their defense, of course, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, like they have a lot of weapons, but they got to win. This is the thing. Like with everything they gave up to get these players, there's a lot of pressure on them. They have to win. If they don't win, it's a wrap. I'm sorry. They'll still be good, but they won't be as good, and they will be losing a lot of people at the expense of draft picks. So I feel like they got the pressure. Bengals, I feel like coming into like a series like this as the underdog, and you just beat Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow got a lot of swagger right now. And I think that they play up to the level they play with that same swagger. I think when it gets to the fourth quarter and the game is either tight or let's say the Bengals is leading, that's when the Rams tend to make a lot of mistakes late in the fourth quarter. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, I'm going to predict the Bengals. If you had asked me like a couple months ago, would I predict them? Hell no. But I'm predicting them now. I could see this being a 24-21 game by like a matter of like a field goal. Could be 2017, could be 24-21, something like that. There will be some touchdowns, but I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game as a lot of us are used to. Because I think, like I said, the Bengals got a good underrated defense. Of course, LA Rams have got stars on the defensive end. It's going to be a close game, but I am predicting Cincinnati Bengals to bring home that chip. That's your boy Tommy Gunz prediction. Shah Montana, who do you think is coming home with the chip? Is it the Bengals, the LA Rams? Who you got?
The Rams, hands down. Okay. So I looked up the Bengals schedule. I mean, we could do this for both teams, but it's kind of challenging with the Rams because during the season they added some very key pieces. The Bengals have been pretty steady all year with their personnel. So I just went back in some key games that they played that kind of had me a little concerned about the Bengals. They lost to the bum-ass Bears. They lost to the Jets. They lost to the 49ers is a good team. They lost to the bum-ass Jets. They got beat down by the Browns. The Chargers beat the brakes off of them. I also am not all the way impressed with them. Like the Titans almost came back on them. They had to actually come back on the Chiefs. The Chiefs practically had the game won. I would argue that the Chiefs lost that game more than the Bengals won that game. I also believe that the Rams are more experienced in postseason, especially Super Bowl. Like you have players on there that was in the Super Bowl recently, and Aaron Donald is a beast. Big A. One name that I don't recall you mentioned was Jalen Ramsey. Which that right there, if what's his name? If Aaron Donald is the checkmate, what is Jalen Ramsey? Because that dude right there also is like. So now you already got the pass rush and you got a defensive back that's arguably the best one in the game. In the Rams, I personally believe. I don't know about score. I guess we could say maybe 28-21.
Okay, so basically a touchdown.
Yeah, but I believe that the 21 points is going to come in garbage time. Like they're gonna get a last minute touchdown.
Mhm.
That's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things. Just for, just to be able to say they scored it.
Okay.
I think that the Bengals is a team to look out for the future. But right now, this year, I think everything is pointed in the direction of the Rams. And if the Rams don't win, they're going to fall apart.
It's a wrap.
They don't have any first round picks until 2024. They have waged they got remember they had to acquire Jalen Ramsey. They had to acquire Odell Beckham. Well, they bought him. They signed him. They had to acquire Von Miller.
Not to mention Stafford.
Matt Stafford. They had to pretty much give up draft picks for these people.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be good after this year, in my opinion.
This is it for them. They were built to win this year.
Donald isn't going to last forever. Jalen Ramsey's not going to last forever. So and all these players are good because they have help. Von Miller's at the end of his career. He might 2-3 more years, 5 tops.
Yeah.
They went all in. They went all in for this year. It has to be this year.
Yeah.
So it's in my opinion, the Rams. 28-21, maybe 31-24.
Okay. So basically within a touchdown.
Yeah. And
all
that touchdown is going to be a garbage time touchdown.
Okay. I feel you. So basically the Rams are really going to run away with this game and the Bengals will make it close towards the end.
I think the Rams are going to start dominating in the second half. It's going to be close until the second half, then the Rams are going to probably get a couple, Matthew Stafford. You got to understand, Matthew Stafford has been a great quarterback. He just hasn't, other than Megatron, he hasn't really had a lot of help.
Very true. I agree with you, Shah. He hasn't had too many weapons to throw to, and it's different on the Rams. He's got more than one weapon to go to. So I agree with you, Shah.
Oh, and Odell Beckham, forget it, bro. Like you said, Tommy, Odell Beckham is back.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Cooper Kupp is that dude is a problem right now.
Super problem. Yep.
Yeah, but the fact that OBJ, it's like, damn, do we double D? We're double teaming Kupp, but then OBJ is gonna eat.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have a lot of offensive weapons. So, that's a good pick. There's no arguing that. Shout out to my man Shah Montana.
AEP. Dav, let us know. What's your Super Bowl predictions?
First off, I have to say the Bengals was my dark horse Super Bowl pick from way back when we started. We talked about playoffs, so I said, watch out for the Bengals. That's my sleeper. I thought the Bills would get it done, but flip of the coin. But the Bengals, that was the sleeper pick, so they made it. I think making the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl for the Bengals at this point.
Come on!
Let's put it this way. I think the Rams are going to win this game. I think it's going to be like a 31-14, 31-21, maybe a fair. And I will say this, because the one weakness of the Bengals is the strength of the Rams. I think Aaron Donald gets MVP. I think Aaron Donald is going to wreck the game because the offensive line is the worst part to the Bengals. And they've never played anyone yet with Aaron Donald's skill playing the middle of the field, because it's not just Aaron Donald. Because if you double team Aaron Donald, you still got Von Miller, who's a Hall of Famer, on one side, and you got Leonard Floyd on the other side, and you got Jalen Ramsey, who you could match up with Chase one-on-one. Or you could put Jalen Ramsey on Higgins and then just double team Chase, and they don't have Uzoma, and you basically have to throw to Tyler Boyd all day. But I just think that that offensive line is going to be the difference in the game. And I see one or two plays going the Rams' way because of that. I think Aaron Donald makes one or two I will not be denied plays that may change the game. Because, y'all, that was the truth. The last play of the game, before it happened, I was saying, like, yeah, I was watching that game, and I'm like, yo, there's one more play in this game. Aaron Donald's about to do something crazy because he's on that I will not be denied time. And that last play of the game, he ran over like 3 people and got to Jimmy G. This is his second time in the Super Bowl. And like Shah said, there is something to being there, you know, to having been there. And a lot of that team is intact. They just added to it. I don't see Eli Apple being able to cover Odell Beckham or Cooper Kupp. I don't see, you know what I mean? So you can double Cooper Kupp, but then Odell Beckham is going to get open. You can double Beckham. Cooper Kupp's always going to be open. He's always open. Then they still got, they don't have Higbee. I don't think Higbee is going to play, but Higbee might play. If they have the tight end, then he might play, and that's going to be, I just think the Rams are ready for this game. They sold out for this game. They're finally here in this game. I think they're going to steal the deal. I think the Bengals will be respectable, and the Bengals will put up points, and you know they're not going to get embarrassed. And I think the future is bright for Cincinnati right now because you got Joe Montana playing back there. Like that dude reminds me of Joe Montana a lot, the way Joe Burrow plays. Like, and if you give him an offensive line, like remember they have a bad offensive line. You give him an offensive line, all right, you give him an offensive line, he's going to be insane. So I give the Rams 31, Bengals, let's say 24, something like that, like a field goal here and there. I think MVP will be Aaron Donald.
Karev Yav, Heritage Hip Hop. It's prediction times. Who you got for the Super Bowl chip?
Rams, hands down. There is no argument for me for any other team but the Rams. If y'all remember, the Rams were my Super Bowl pick from the preseason. I said the Rams and the Titans. Unfortunately, the Titans gave up their will on the field and didn't play.
To the Bengals.
Yeah, imagine. And what I want to say towards the game is my final score is 28-24 Rams.
Okay.
Shout out to my peoples who said that the Rams are going to win because they have less Giants on their team. That's real ignorant, but think about this. B.J. Hill was cast off from the Giants and became a star, rising star on the Bengals. Eli Apple had to divorce his mother to become a good player, and he found his swag in Cincinnati. To the point where he's even talking crap about the Giants and the Saints now. I'm going to just turn this back into a Giants thing because I'm heartbroken over my team being so bad. And with the Rams, I think we're sleeping on possibly the most important thing the Rams have in their pocket that the Bengals don't, and that's that chip on their shoulder for going to the Super Bowl against the Patriots and getting not only blown out but humiliated to the point where the Rams basically said, look, we're in LA. We're going to do what the Yankees do. We're going to buy a championship so that we can repair our look to our fan base. Because think about this. When is the last time LA had a football team win a Super Bowl? Then think about this. That team came back to LA And LA is already angry with how they keep recycling teams.
Yeah.
They have to build a fan base somehow. And the one way you could build a fan base is by getting a championship, i.e. the Brooklyn Nets, who are still looking to take the Knicks spot, and they need to get a championship to do it. If the Bengals don't get good tight end play, they're not going to win. If the Rams get an injury, that opens up the Bengals' chances. Heaven forbid, what if Cooper Kupp gets hurt? Then the game would get a little more interesting. The one thing I'm gonna say about this game that intrigues me more than who's gonna, what tight end either team is gonna show off, secondary play is gonna be something. And I think the Rams have the advantage because their line is so tremendous that the weakness of the Bengals is their offensive line. And I want to see if Smoking Joe Burrow, whatever everybody call him, whatever he is, if he really gonna have swag when he running for his life. Even Patrick Mahomes threw up passes that people were scared to catch because they didn't want to get hit in the Super Bowl. Shout out to the Buccaneers. Fuck Tom Brady though. So all I can say is this, man. I'm going with the Rams, 28-24.
Okay.
Will it be a tight game? No. Will it be a good game? Yes. And if we go anything over 52 points, then this is going to be a better game than most people are giving it credit for.
All right. So Karev is going with the Rams. Yo, shout out to all my football fans out there. You've heard it from the Goodfellas. And I'm only saying that because I go for the underdog and, yo, fuck the Rams, yo. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, it's going to be a very entertaining game. And honestly, I'm just happy that there's other teams in there other than whatever team Tom Brady's in or Aaron Rodgers or, you know, even Patrick Mahomes. I feel like I see him every year now. Like, it's good to see other teams, other quarterbacks shine, other players that you wouldn't normally see. That's what keeps the game interesting, you know, because, you know, like it could have easily been a Green Bay versus Chiefs. So although, you know, on paper we like to see that, it's like, all right, Aaron Rodgers again or Patrick Mahomes again. But either way, we're excited. Shout out to our football fans out there. We want to hear from y'all. Who do you think is winning the game? Who do you think is bringing home that chip? What's the score going to be? We want to hear all about that. Make sure you hit us, leave a comment, hit us on the Facebook, hit us on the YouTube, hit us on the Instagram. Let us know. Do you agree with our predictions? Are we bugging? Did we get it wrong? Is the score off? We want to hear all that. We want all the smoke. Come on! But until then, on behalf of the Goodfellas, you know what it is. See y'all on the re-up.